What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of MG Nights. I'm TieFly85.
And I'm T-Rack87.
And in today's episode, we're going to talk about something that we definitely love, and that's going to be Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
We're both really excited about this movie, obviously. I can't wait for it to come out. I really want to see, everybody wants to see more, Luke Skywalker, which obviously he's going to be a big part of the film. But I also want to see, I think there's going to be a lot of interesting dynamics. You got Kylo Ren, Rey, all these great characters. I've got my own thoughts about what's going to happen in the movie, but I'm just really excited to see what it's going to actually be about.
I think I'm definitely most excited to find out who Snoke is finally, because there's so many rumors flying around on the internet. Like, it's just insane. Like, everybody's just like, it's Plagueis, or it's freaking Mace Windu, or it's everybody. So we can just say or somehow freaking, Rey is freaking Snoke in the future or something. Like, we'll just make it up and call it good. But I'm really excited to find out who Snoke is. I don't know if you guys are. Definitely let us know if you are down in the comments below.
I also wanted to touch on, what does everybody think is going to happen with Kylo Ren? A lot of theories out there. The biggest one I've seen, though, that I'm super excited about is that Kylo Ren is going to turn to the light and Rey is going to turn to the dark side somehow. And I think that would be a super interesting dynamic. Obviously, there would have to be a crazy reason to make Rey turn to the dark side. But that is I think the biggest thing I'm looking forward to in the movie. If it is in the movie, I have no idea if it is or not. But that's gonna be a really big one for me for sure.
Well, I read this whole theory about how it's not a part of canon. It was a part of the canon before Disney took over, but there was a book written where there was it's actually, I think it was the Inquisitor or something from Star Wars Rebels, where like he was in love with this girl and then turned to the dark side, and then somehow the power of love was able to bring him back from the dark side, so he became a Jedi again. So I mean, that would be pretty interesting if something like that were to happen. I don't foresee that happening, though, particularly with Kylo Ren, due to the fact that he killed Han Solo, which was his father. So if he was going to redeem himself in that moment, that probably would have been the moment that would have been like, oh, I killed my father, let's go back to the light side. So I would be pretty interested to see exactly how they're going to pull that off if he does return to the light side with Rey going to the dark side.
Han Solo Force Ghost. I'm calling it right now. It's going to happen. I'm positive.
It definitely is.
So, another thing we're both super excited about is, obviously, Rogue One was a great movie. It was a great spin-off movie, its own story. Obviously it relates to the main series in a way. But there is an upcoming Star Wars spin-off as well.
Yeah, so there's going to be the Han Solo movie, which comes out next summer, which is ought to be pretty awesome. Unfortunately, there's not a trailer currently out on the Han Solo movie, so we're definitely waiting on that. Should be dropping, I assume, if I'm going to guess, it's going to be during episodes 8 in the previews. It's probably going to be the first time that we'll actually see the Han Solo, which kind of makes sense of why they would hold on to it, because it being so close to episode 8 releasing. But we do know who all the characters are, so I am really excited to see Han Solo, Chewie, Lando Calrissian. Apparently there's a brand new Millennium Falcon, so we're going to see what happens with that back in the beginning. So it's going to be a lot of interesting new characters, and I'm really excited to see how they pull that off with all of them.
Another one that is rumored, I don't know that, I think it may have just been confirmed very recently. But I know, if nothing else, it's been very rumored that there is going to be also an Obi-Wan movie, just a solo standalone movie, which I personally think that would be awesome if it was set in between the time of episode 3 and episode 4. I think Ewan McGregor is about the perfect age at this point to play that role. He's a little bit older than he was. And I absolutely loved his character, in the prequel trilogy. So if there is an Obi-Wan movie, my biggest thing is I really hope they have him come back for it. I know he's all about it. He loves that character too. So that would be another really, really good one.
I mean, as much as I definitely would love to see Ewan McGregor come back as Obi-Wan, I don't think it's going to happen because if they did do an Obi-Wan movie, they're definitely going to make it be younger. So it's going to be his entire backstory. And Ewan McGregor's a little bit too old, I think, to play that young of a character. Because, I mean, it's just like Han Solo. They had to find somebody in like their 20s.
Yeah.
I mean,
if they went to something where he was younger, for sure, he's a little bit too old. But they could easily tell that story in between episode 3 and episode 4. He didn't just sit in his hut for like 40 years. He
the
did
Jedi exile.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't just sit there. He did other stuff. So
that would be really interesting to see all of that if they wanted to play like before, at the end of episode 3, before episode 4, like the whole in between, what he was doing while he was in exile.
I think
I'm sure
could be
somebody
a great movie.
I mean, I couldn't foresee that they wouldn't have known he was on Tatooine. At least somebody. And maybe there was some story of like, you know, they could do like bounty hunters coming to track him down or something like that. I don't know. I mean, it could be interesting.
There was something actually I read one time. I don't think it was part of the canon, really. It might have just been a forum post or something about Darth Vader. But one of the big things they always said, like why Darth Vader didn't find Luke or anything like that on Tatooine, or no Obi-Wan was on Tatooine. You know, even though he'd reach out with the Force and he was meditating and stuff, he would try to find them because he wanted to, you know, obviously find Luke and he wanted to hunt down Obi-Wan. Was that Tatooine was such a bad place for him, you know, from growing up. And that place was so strong in the Force that it kind of blinded him. You know, and so he really never thought about Tatooine. He didn't want to go back there, you know, subconsciously. And so that was a big part of why Vader never ended up tracking him down. Another thing I think that we both would be super excited to see, nothing has been announced, and then I don't think this would be for, you know, this would be a couple years down the road, would be a Boba Fett movie, though.
Yes, please, give it to us. We want that.
A young Boba Fett movie would be great. It would be so much fun, you know, seeing after, you know, Jango Fett gets killed and seeing how Boba Fett comes around to getting that armor. And I don't even know if it's the same armor that his dad had. I mean, it looks the exact same.
Mandalorian armor. It's Mandalorian armor.
Oh, yeah. So it's not necessarily Jango Fett's armor. It's just that Mandalorian style. It would be really cool to see, like, why he becomes a bounty hunter and what his motives are. Or, you know, did he escape from the Sarlacc pit? You know, I know in the non-canon he did. But that could make for a good story in itself too. So that would be another really great one.
Yeah, no, I would definitely. I mean, I would love to see a Boba Fett standalone film, but I think that I would love to see just the bounty hunters, like that whole. If anyone remembers from The Empire Strikes Back when they brought all the bounty hunters in, and you got like IG-88, and you got Boba Fett, and you got a bunch of other characters that I can't remember their names right now, but. I mean, if you were to put all of them in the same movie and just have it how they all became bounty hunters, but like focus mainly on Boba Fett, I think that'd make for an amazing movie.
Yeah, it really would. And then we were actually talking earlier, and another really big one I would love to see, both of us would love to see down the road, would be a Star Wars movie set. Obviously, the prequel had you know, tons of Jedi, which there were, but be set more in like the Knights of the Old Republic era, when there was just like tons of Jedi, tons of Sith, and you know, and everybody was running around with lightsabers. That could make for a really good movie, and a standalone movie in itself. Obviously, it wouldn't relate to the main trilogy really, or maybe they could find a way to make it somehow like, you know, relate to it. But you know, getting a cast together of 4 or 5 Jedi. You know, that could be really fun too, and I think that would be something Disney could really do something great with. Do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, no, I mean, as far as I really enjoy, since Disney took over Lucasfilms for the Star Wars franchise, that they're actually branching out, because I know a lot of us for many years were asking for all of these backstories and extra stories, because the universe of Star Wars is so massive and expansive that they could just literally pull anything from anywhere and make a movie on it, and we'd all watch it. Like, it really doesn't matter what it is, because we're like all the diehard Star Wars fans love Star Wars. So you give us pretty much anything, slap Star Wars on it, we're gonna watch it. So I mean, I enjoy watching any Star Wars film really, but it would be really awesome if they did give us, you know, several different ones. Alrighty, guys. Well, that's the end of our show. If you like this episode, definitely go ahead and slap that like button.
If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit subscribe. We make new videos all the time, almost every day. We're always got something new going on, so we'd love to have you guys back. If you have any other thoughts about the Star Wars movies, please leave your comments in the section below. We'd love to hear about the actual movies coming up, or your thoughts on what would make a great Star Wars movie. Thanks for tuning in, you guys, and always remember, may the Force be with you.
Alrighty, guys. It's not how we're supposed to do that.
Oh.
Alright, guys. Well, that's the end of our episode. As always, I've been TieFly85. This is Bitches.
Compose yourself.
No doubt. What's happening? Alrighty, guys. What the fuck is wrong with you? Yes. $1 million.
Oh, fuck. Alright.
Count three, right? 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, guys. Well, that's all I have for you today. If you like this video, make sure to slap that like button. Also, if you enjoyed this video and are new here, definitely go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Alright, okay. Alright, I'm ready to actually...
Alrighty, guys. Well, what the hell's wrong with you?
I'm sorry, I can't stop.
Okay.
I can't do this. Alright, hold on, okay.
Do we need a cigarette break and then come back to this, or what?
I mean, maybe. Okay, let's try one more time.
Alrighty, guys, well, that's the end of our fucking show. If you liked it, fucking leave a like, bitch. Alrighty, guys, well, that's all we have for you today. If you definitely like this video, definitely go ahead and make sure... Oh, God.
Definitely.
Yeah, motherfuckers. Alrighty, guys, well, that's all we have for you today.
I'm fucking looking at the floor. What the fuck's wrong with you? One more time. May the Force be with you, Tyler. God damn it.